So I'm Emily and I'm an exec assistant. So I recently joined a new company who are a global clinical research organisation. In this role, I support 2 senior vice presidents and additionally a vice president, and they've all got global remits. Before that, which was before September of this year, I worked for Virgin Media in their business division, where I supported 4 directors, and I've been there for 5 years. So I guess I'm really quite interested in the evolving role of an exec assistant or a personal assistant. So I've always seen that my role is not just a transactional role. So you're not just doing expenses or anything, or doing calendar management. It's always more than that. I wanted to be want to be a proper business partner to the executives that I support. And within that, I think you have to elevate yourself. So I saw that the Mini MBA would be a good place to start. I didn't want to do just another EAPA training course. I wanted a proper program. So I could draw upon the different functions that you hear about when you're working in a business and the execs. So the strategy, the marketing, finance, which is everybody's favorite, obviously, because it's just, but actually Malcolm made it understandable. And actually early on in my career, I had a career within HR, and I did a professional qualification there, which was blended learning. So I was used to the remote aspect of the study and studying in your own time with face-to-face contact, albeit virtually. So I knew that the way that the Mini MBA was structured would suit me quite well. Yeah, I think, as I said, it's all about being seen as more than just another PA. Often you're seen as an extension of an admin function, like a team administrator. So if you have availability, people then tend to give you more, but it seems to be more of the same. So you'd be given another director to support. Whereas with the MBA, I've had the confidence to obviously seek a new role, but it's more about get me involved in this, get me involved in that. Giving me more of the same doesn't enhance my career development. Also, the other thing that in the Mini MBA program, really early on, we did 360-degree feedback, where we went out to our stakeholders within the organisation to get feedback on how we worked in the business. And a lot of the feedback that I got was all about that I do a really good job, but I don't shout about doing a really good job. And the directors that I supported knew that I did a good job, but maybe the wider audience didn't. So actually, I guess through that, and indeed the marketing element of the course, it helped me, enabled me to build my personal brand. As a previous chief exec or managing director of an organisation that I worked in said about building my personal stock price, to therefore just be a bit more confident and let people know that what I could do. I mean, we did have regular, I think they were 2 monthly sessions in person, albeit remotely, which obviously were structured in the diary, so that worked perfectly. And we also had video tutorials that were sent to us to study in our own time. And it was literally that, in our own time. So for those of us that wanted to do bite-sized chunks, we could do it. For those of us that wanted to do the full hour, we would do it that way. But actually what I also liked about it was that we were provided with brilliant delegate course books. So we would be able to refer to our delegate course books whilst we were doing the sessions, but also it was invaluable for the case study and referring to it and reminding ourselves of what we'd learned. But also I used it to prep for my interview. So a lot of the, it was just such a great reference tool, and, you know, I'm sure I'll use it for years to come, just as a refresh. Yeah, absolutely invaluable. So I think in my cohort, there was one international person, and she was very international. She was in Australia, so it couldn't be further away. And then the others were scattered around the country. We had people that were in not-for-profit sector or charity sector, and people in a variety of different industries. And it was just great to hear from people how they applied their learning in their business and the similarities and the differences to the approach that either they took or their businesses took to things. And also, as you say, in the world of COVID, it was great to have another set of people to talk to, and just, you know, socialize with as well, because it was good fun to learn with like-minded individuals. Yeah, so I've given this some thought, and I think for me personally, that you could choose a load of words, but I reckon it's empowering, because it's empowered me to, I guess, step out of my comfort zone, to learn things about myself, to learn more about the business, to give me the confidence in my own ability and my ability to build my career. It also enabled me, and I think I genuinely believe that it enabled me to find another position in an organization, which was part of my career development. It not only because of the confidence that I gained, but by actually, you know, I mentioned it in an interview that I'd got, or I was studying, sorry, for a mini MBA, and the director that interviewed me was really impressed because he himself has got an MBA. So he was interested in hearing what the mini MBA was for an exec assistant. So, you know, I believe it opened up the doors. And of course, it's an accredited training program. So that just hits the mark, in my opinion. Yeah, definitely 100%. I mean, it's long enough to feel that you've studied a decent program, but short enough to not consume your life for years and years and years. You know, nowadays, particularly since the pandemic, I think everybody's got a multitude of activities that they do. I think the pandemic has widened our eyes to what really matters in our lives. And actually, this was what really mattered to me, like building my career, spending time to do that. But I have to balance it with my family and my job. And so that's why it's a great program to be able to fit around that, in my opinion. I was going to say as well, through the case study that we did, we had to apply all of the learning as we went along. It was easier to do it that way, actually. So I joined a project team, and I was integral to the project team, and, you know, led on elements of the project. And I probably wouldn't have done that before. I would have taken a less important role just by nature of my position within the organisation and the confidence. I was going to say it was really interesting because in my old role, I supported the marketing director, and you're used to seeing a lot of the literature come through, but actually the templates that Malcolm provided were so similar to the ones that the marketing team in the organisation used, and it was just like a light bulb moment for me. They were brilliant.